Okay, can you guys see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, okay, cool, perfect. Okay, so my name is Katie Harris, and I am the music therapy director at Behavior Services and Therapy. We are based in South Bend, Indiana, in St. Joseph County, and as a company, we typically provide Medicaid waiver services, behavior consulting, music therapy, and recreational therapy. So far with ESA, we are just doing music therapy for now. So my contact information is at the bottom of this slide, and then it will be at the end as well. So um, there we go. So just a little bit about music therapy. It is the clinical evidence-based use of music interventions to work on non-musical skills. So that would be communication skills. So working on language acquisition, pronunciation, pairing with school curriculum to work on academic skills, your social skills, fine and gross motor skills, emotional regulation and coping skills, and more. Basically, whatever the child is working on, the service can be individualized to fit those needs. So we pride ourselves on person-centered and individualized services that are tailored to the child to fit their interests, what their skills are and their strengths, as well as what they need to work on. We use a variety of types of interventions. One music therapy session for an individual won't look like a session for another individual. It's very much individualized. And so just base level interventions that may be used would be instrument play, singing, writing songs, dancing and movement to music, music assisted relaxation, song discussion and lyric analysis, music-based games, and more. And those will all relate back to the skill areas that the child is working on. Like, for example, if the child needs to work on fine motor skills, then instrument play and movement to music using different props and puppets or instruments may be used. And so it's just a really engaging way to work on some of those skills. And can be really fun as well. So just a little bit about us. So we are a team of 11 music therapists. We are definitely creative, fun, passionate people. And we have weekly one-on-one sessions available. Options for clinic or in-home are available as well. Our clinic is in South Bend. Like I said, the services are very much tailored to fit the needs of the child and your family. And so the therapist will work really closely with you to develop, a plan of treatment to best fit your needs. And we have availability in St. Joseph County and some parts of Elkhart County. So and then here is just some contact information. So if you do have more questions about music therapy, I would love to speak with you. You can email me at this email address, and then we could set up a time to schedule a phone call and speak. We can also be reached through our website. And so there's the link to that, as well as our Facebook account, and you can check out some of the fun things we get up to. And then that is our address where in-clinic sessions would happen as well. So like I said, if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to speak with you, and thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you for sharing, Katie.
Thank you.
Next, we will go to Next Step Learning Centers. And I think that's Mr. Busk.
Hello. Thanks, everybody. Let me share my screen here in 1 second. Make sure I've got this pulled up. So yes, we are Next Step Learning, and we are a Michiana-based organization, and our mission is to help students who struggle with reading, with comprehension, and with math. And we were founded in 2016 by myself and my business partner, and we together have about 30 years of educational experience between the two of us. teaching everything from younger children through college. Our focus now is on elementary school students, although we also work with some middle and high school students as well. I have a PhD in English. My co-founder was formerly a manager at Lindemood Bell in Chicago, and we use those programs here in South Bend. And as far as we know, we're the only providers of those services here. What we do is one-on-one sensory cognitive-based instruction. All of our programs are tailored to fit a student's specific needs, and we work with them in an intensive daily basis, trying to retrain the way their brain responds to language so that they can then succeed in the classroom. We have students who come to us from a variety of different backgrounds. Some of our students have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. Some of them have been diagnosed with dyslexia. Some of them are on the autism spectrum. Some of them are behind in school. They have uncategorized, undiagnosed delays. We work with students of all types who need this sort of work. Students where the instruction that we get in the classroom seems insufficient to helping them get back to where they need, or where Title I or other homework help doesn't seem to be enough to get them back to where they should be succeeding in the classroom. Those problems, to get a little bit more granular, look like a lot of different things. These can be things that appear both at home or also in school. So for students who struggle with reading, it could look like a low sight word base, poor spelling skills, weak word attack skills for phonetic words, slow and inaccurate reading. One thing that we see a lot with a lot of students that come to us is they might have read a word, maybe with someone sitting next to them. Let's say it's a non-phonetic word like enough. And then the person reading with them, their aide, their parent would say, that's the word enough. Obviously, it's not a very phonetic word. They see it and then they encounter it again a page later, or a paragraph later, or a sentence later, and they can't remember what it says. And maybe they grind through it and they say, and now, and they're not quite sure because it's not a phonetic word. So students with those kind of weak skills will come to us, and through the programs that we use, which I'll talk about shortly, we're able to help build the visual working memory to enable the strengthening of those skills. For students who struggle with comprehension, that can look like a lot of things. Some of it is just poor recall for things they've either read or been read to, weak verbalization. They might have a difficult time with critical thinking or problem solving or inference. And then finally, for the students that we use our math program with, those students might struggle with numeracy, with simple mental math, with the operations for different functions, but they also might struggle with word problems and how to take those numbers and then use them in the context of an actual story problem. So to get to the programs that we use, so as I mentioned above, we use the Lindemood Bell method, which is the gold standard in remediation for reading and comprehension and math. Those three programs, to run through them quickly, are the Seeing Stars program, and that program is for students who struggle with decoding, spelling, reading the words on the page. A lot of the fundamental approach that we use with those sorts of students is to recognize that a lot of them might struggle with basic phonological processing, phonics, and phonemic awareness, but also they might struggle with building the visual working memory skills they need to be able a instantaneous word bank of words that are sight words that they can then deploy when they're reading, or conversely, words that they know how to spell because they have an immediate recognition of what those letters are when they hear a word. The visualizing and verbalizing program is our comprehension program. And for this program, what we use is a lot of resources to help a student build their dynamic visual memory and verbalization skills. A lot of students struggle with being able to take in language at speed and to be able to make dynamic mental imagery for it, especially if that language is narrative, it's vivid, it's descriptive. They should have pictures coming in and they should be able to verbalize, like any of us would be able to, what they're seeing: size, shape, number, color, movement. For a lot of students, this is very difficult, both in terms of the visualizing ability and in terms of being able to verbalize that and eventually to be able to write some of those things down. So our goal in that process is to help develop those visualizing skills in conjunction with those verbalizing skills. And then finally, our On Cloud 9 math program takes some of the insights of those first two programs. The visual working memory that enables quick decoding is very similar to the decoding skills for simple math facts, knowing that 3 plus 4 is 7, for instance, and having an instantaneous mental picture for that is the foundational skill that enables larger math function and operation skill. So we try to build those underlying visual working memory skills and then build upon that through the foundations of first operations like multiplication, division, and then eventually into more complex higher math as well. In a parallel way, we use a lot of our comprehension, visualizing, and verbalizing program skills with students on word problems so that they can imagine the story of the problem, and it's not just a number of words and letters and numbers thrown together at them that they don't know what to do with. So those are 3 programs we use. To talk just a little bit more about our process and what differentiates us beyond those programs. So first, all of our instruction is one-on-one. It's delivered by our team of 1 of 7 instructors who are all enthusiastic, relentlessly positive, incredibly energetic, and extremely well-trained. We also individually tailor the programs to a student's specific needs. So this is not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. We do an assessment, which I'll talk about more in a moment. And then from there, we begin to work with a student based on that individualized program. And then finally, I think one thing that differentiates us from a lot of other places is that we are able to travel to home schools and libraries. We know the commitment we're asking for parents is often quite intense. And so because of that, we try to be as accommodating as possible in terms of the location and in terms of scheduling. And the results that we see, we're very pleased with. This is a bar chart of pre and post instruction results for students that have worked in our program. So the pre-instruction results are the percentiles in blue, the red are percentiles post-instruction. And as you can see, this is these numbers are directionally true of all of our students. This is one that finished very recently, but our students go from having weaknesses to strength. So just to give you a few quick details about some of these things that relate to what I was mentioning earlier. The 2 bar charts on the right relate to the auditory phonological processing skill, that's the LAC3, and the symbol imagery test, the SIT, is the one that most directly relates to that visual working memory. So students are making huge gains, 4th, 5th, 6th grade level jumps in a lot of these underlying metrics. And then in those application metrics in reading skill, reading fluency, spelling, and sight word base, they're similarly large jumps. And we see just sort of anecdotally what this looks like is that students who previously were struggling in school, were increasingly anxious about going to school, hated reading, become the kind of kids who sneak up to their room late at night with a book under the sheets and a flashlight so that they can continue to read the books that they've now learned to love. And that kind of work is incredibly gratifying for us. That's what we want to see, and it is what we see with the students who finish our programs. So to give you a little more information about how to get started, as I mentioned before, we begin every journey with each of our clients with an assessment of the 8 or 9 benchmark tests in reading and comprehension and math, which give us a sense of where a student is, what their needs are. We then build a program around those results and our conversations with parents, and then we begin instruction shortly thereafter that as soon as we have availability in our calendar. So if you would like to contact us, you can email me at michael.nextsteplearning@gmail.com. There's more information there on our website. And thank you very much. We really appreciate this chance to present who we are and what we do to you all.
Thanks for sharing, Michael. Sounds like you guys are doing some great work up there, and we're glad to have you present today.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Next, we will go to Mindy as she has to go here soon. So we'll let her present here quickly.
Thanks, Samuel. Hi, my name is Mindy Johanneman. I am the Director of Building Pathways. And I want to make sure, great. What we do here at Building Pathways is we support struggling readers, writers, and spellers. Oftentimes, children who have dyslexia or struggle to read, they need specific and direct one-on-one attention. And that's what we do here at Building Pathways. Dyslexia is a neurological disability caused by the wiring in the brain that is connected with speech sounds that make up words, and dyslexia is not related to the IQ. So oftentimes I talk to families all the time. My child is so smart. They're able to pick up on all these things, but when it comes to reading and spelling, there is a we're just running against a roadblock. Well, there is a method and a standard of teaching called Orton-Gillingham, or structured literacy. This is the true gold standard of dyslexia treatment. It has been scientifically backed for more than decades, and it is recognized by the National Institute of Health. Structured literacy is the effective method not only for dyslexics, but also all readers, in my opinion. If we all use structured literacy to teach children, we would have such better results with spelling and reading. What we do here at Building Pathways, we provide online intervention, one-on-one online intervention. We start with various baseline assessments to figure out what grapheme phonemes the child knows. That way we can pinpoint what they do know versus don't know. And we can set up a personalized one-on-one plan to address and teach these concepts. We've been a virtual platform since 2017. So well before the pandemic, we started online therapy. I have partnered with a company called Lexercise, and Lexercise gives me the ability to provide that daily reinforcement that our children with dyslexia or struggling readers need. So we teach a concept at the weekly lesson, and then I say this is when the magic happens, is that reinforcement. After each weekly lesson, we assign the children 10 minutes of customized games that reinforce that letter sound concept that was taught. This improves working memory. It also improves that grapheme phoneme correspondence. And like I tell my parents, it's Orton-Gillingham on steroids. At the bottom, you can see a QR code. This QR code will lead you to my website. On that website, we have a very seamless reading screener that you can provide your child. Those results will go directly to me, and then I will be in touch with you on next steps on how we can help. Who we are at Building Pathways. I have 9 amazingly dedicated therapists who work for me. All of my therapists have extensive training. They are all International Dyslexia Associated certified, and they have at least 20 years of experience working with struggling readers and children with dyslexia. Some signs to be aware of as a parent: preschoolers who have difficulty with rhyming or reverse sounds. We need to talk. If you have students in kindergarten to 2nd grade who have struggled to remember letter sounds, have difficulty decoding or memorizing sight words, this is an indication that we should communicate with each other. Children who are in grades 3 to 6, they often guess at unknown words. They read choppy. Their spelling is very elementary and or omitted. They don't like to write. And children in middle school and high school, they often avoid reading, writing, and reading, especially out loud. So if your child exhibits any of these kind of concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out following my QR code. And thank you so much for the time today, and look forward to helping out any families who may need us.
Yeah, of course, Mindy. Thank you so much for taking the time to present today.
Thank you
I'm
so
sure our
much.
ESA families could, get a lot of value out of these programs. So again, thank you so much. Next, we will move on to Hong's USA Taekwondo.
Yeah, I'm not too quite sure how to share my whole screen on the picture, but if everybody can hear me okay, I'm willing to start.
Yeah, if you just want to talk, that'd be perfect as well.
All right. So again, I'm from Hong's USA Taekwondo. I'm representing Grandmaster Soonpil Hong. He has his PhD in physical education. We've been at this location for over 35 years serving our community. And I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Gilmore and Miss Fulton. Those were the ones that contacted me, helped put this together for me. So for the ESA students and parents, we can offer ways to help is one, being the only legalized licensed school in Michiana to teaching self-defense to special needs children. Number two is teaching children kindness and trust through the making of new friends. And then third is we develop mental and physical strength for the children through group exercise to help them live longer and live better. So the first one I touched on was legalized licensed instructors in Michiana. Grandmaster Hong, he had gotten his certification, only one out of a few to getting his 9th degree black belt from Korea. And that's to specifically work with special needs children. The categories that he teaches is one of them, the Deaf Olympic, so Paralympic, and Special Olympic. All of these can compete each other on an international stage. For Taekwondo, Hapkido, or Gumdo. Taekwondo, everybody knows, is like kickboxing. Hapkido is more like ground attacking and acupressure. And then Gumdo is the foam swords. So whether you're Deaf Olympic is a hearing impaired, Paralympic is a mobility impaired, or Special Olympic being class A, B, C, special mental impaired. We're the best at teaching in Michiana for a physical educational standpoint. Our principal, Grandmaster Soonpil Hong, PhD in physical education, like I had mentioned, he had taught people like this one gentleman, Mr. Gillis. He came into the dojang over 400 pounds. He had oxygen tank. He was on dialysis twice a week, and he was blind as it was. So over the course of 2 years, Grandmaster Hong working with him, he was able to shed 200 pounds, get off of the oxygen tank, and then he got his black belt too as a part of it. The second one I had mentioned was teaching children kindness and trust through making a new friends. When our environment's clean, friendly, and energetic, when students come here, whether it's before, during, or after classes, they're meeting new people, they're working with new children their own age group, and they're able to make friends and help come out of their shell. During the classes, students are kept away from each other, but still in proximity with each other so that they can motivate each other and still pay attention to what the teacher's teaching. We had recently had Child's Dispensary come out for a field trip. They taught an hour-long class. We taught an hour-long class to them when they came out. And I won't forget, one of the children's, they had made their very first friend when they had come here, never having any other social interactions with people until they came to our school. So that was really rewarding. Third, I mentioned was developing physical and mental strength through group exercise to help them live longer and live better. Hong's USA does a lot for people when they get sick. So Grandmaster Hong, like I had mentioned, I've met him, I've known him for over 6.5 years. I've never seen this man sneeze. I've never seen him cough because he works out 3 to 4 hours himself each day. And there's something to say when you get sick, you don't feel that good. When you're feeling normal, yeah, you're feeling normal, you're feeling okay. But when you leave our dojang, when your children's leave our dojang and train, there's an overwhelming bearing of confidence that they have just from making themselves feel stronger and making friends when they walk out. Especially the goals that your children achieve through the belt process of attaining their next belt and helping their friends to completing tasks, it's going to give them an overwhelming sense of staying away from negative influences too that might cross their path when they're going about their life. We have a black belt, Mr. Gunlock. He had ADHD seriously bad when he was in middle school, elementary school. And over the long time, Grandmaster Hong had worked with him. He went from cursing, throwing his arms up, smacking walls and things, to being this really stand-up role model for people. And we have this one gentleman who he doesn't have much emotional empathy. He had just started coming here. And he looks to this Mr. Gunlock now as a role model to who he can aspire to be, who he can talk to. He's a teenager, so he's got all these certain emotions flowing, but doesn't know how to quite experience them or have catharsis and get them out. So he has meetings with them and he's able to help him. So whether you're coming here as a new student, troubled, or you've been here for a long time and you develop these role model skills, it's going to be good for all the ESA parents to coming. So like I'd mentioned, ways we can help the ESA students and parents is we're one of the only legalized licensed instructors to teaching self-defense in Michiana. We teach children kindness and trust through making new friends, and we help the children develop mental and physical strength through group exercise to help them live longer and live better. I have my contact information here. Hong's USA Taekwondo, Hapkido Gumdo. You can reach me at jjohnson@hongsusa.com. Call us at 269-687-5000. Or you can just go to our website, hongsusa.com. Send us an email with your contact information. We'd love to work with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for speaking with us and being with us here today. The programs you guys offer, I think, are important for everyone, even more so for ESA students. And never would have thought that we would have a martial arts program in the ESA program, last year when we were building this. So that's awesome that you guys offer that for our ESA students. And thank you for presenting here today.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. Next up, we will move to Advocacy Links.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. My name is Kara Kimes. I am from Advocacy Links. A little bit about us. This is our contact information. So you can get a hold of us through calling usually or emailing. A little bit about us, who we are. We have highly qualified staff who work with people with special needs. We have been in this field for many, many years, helping support people through waivers, through other resources of what they need. So a little bit about what we can do for ESA. For young children and infants, we can help navigate diagnosis, or if they're trying to get the diagnosis and they're not sure what's going on, we can help give information on special needs trust, help locate specialists for needed treatment. A lot of families out there are saying, I need to go to this doctor, but they don't accept my insurance, or there's a 18-month wait. And they just need that extra help on finding the specialist that will work with them. We can also help locate childhood services, daycares, and the big one, understanding and applying for public benefits, whether this is Medicaid waiver, whether it's Social Security, any of those public benefits that people need help with. They can be overwhelming for families to apply for and to understand what's out there and help, what help is there for them. For school-age children, we can come in and help with IEPs. We usually leave that to InSource if they're able to help, but InSource is not always able to help. They're limited in how many people they have. So we do go to IEPs when needed and help in the schools. We can also help connect them with parenting support groups for their individual needs. So if you have someone that has a kiddo with autism or ADHD or, various things, we can help locate a support group either online or in person that might be what they're looking for. It really does help parents to talk to other people going through the same thing that they're going through and not just professional all the time. Again, we can help them apply for eligible services. We can help find activities for them that are safe and welcoming for people with special needs. and also help them find accessible adaptive equipment for home and vehicles. If, finding medical equipment can be difficult, that fits for what they need. For young adults, again, we can help apply for vocational rehab, again, applying for those medical benefits, understanding guardianship options. And, most kiddos with special needs, they get to 18 and parents don't necessarily understand as soon as a kid turns 18, they become an emancipated adult regardless of their ability. So talking through those options with them of this is guardianship, this is a power of attorney, this is supported decision-making. And then also talking to them about what's next after school, because you don't want to wait until your senior year of high school and then try and figure out what's next. Usually that's too late if you're waiting to your senior year. We do also have connections for adults and aging adults. I left this slide on here, but I won't go over it because, this is based on kids, but we do have it for people. And then our other service that is not an ESA service, but I did just want to quickly mention it, is our child mental health supports wraparound. It is for kiddos age 6 to 18 with serious emotional disturbance. We are trying to support the family to keep the kiddo in the home instead of going to a residential placement. So that's all my slides. I feel like I went through that really quick because I wanted to make sure I got through everything. I do thank you for letting me talk today and really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, Kara. Thank you for being here. Some of those advocacy resources and services are super important. So we're glad to have organizations like yours be here to support our ESA families. So thank you for presenting.
I did forget to say where we can help. We do help in the South Bend and Elkhart area, but we also cover a lot of counties in northern Indiana. So if the top 34 counties in northern Indiana, we can help with.
That's good to know. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Dr. Noreen Russell with Russell Coaching for Students.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to share my screen and okay. Getting an error message. That's not good.
Is it not letting you share your screen?
Correct. 15 seconds and let me see if I can do this. Otherwise, I'm just going to wing it.
To say, I know last time I held this, a provider had to leave the session and then rejoin and they were able to share their screen. I'm not sure if that would help you.
Okay. I hate to do that, but yes, let me do that. And then I'll be right back and do my presentation. All right. You would think after many, many years of doing this, we would not have any glitches anymore. But it seems to happen at the worst times. Okay, so think I should be good here. Yep, I don't know.
There we go.
What that was all about. Okay, so what I thought I might do, because I thought it might be simpler for parents, is actually to go directly to our website during our part of the presentation and walk people through how to navigate our website. So Russell Coaching is a practice that is dedicated to teaching students skills in 3 areas: executive functioning skills, learning and study strategies, and social and emotional skills. So we have been in practice for 14 years, and we are the country's largest provider to neurodiverse students of these skills. So what I want to help parents understand is what we provide and what resources are on our website. So for parents who are listening to this presentation, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to just invite you to take a look at what resources we offer. Our coaching might be something that is of value, or some of our other resources. So our website is russellcoaching.com, which you can see here. And then if you go first to the resource pages, you'll see that one of the things that we offer free of charge to all families is blogs on different topics that are relevant to kids who are neurodiverse. So whether that's studying, whether it's motivation, whether it's ADHD treatment, whether it's academic difficulties, you can see that we have any number of blog posts up. We've really tried to offer significant resources because we know that it's hard for parents to find high quality resources online that they know are science-based and evidence-based. So one of the most important things I think on our resources page is that every single one of the executive functioning skills, such as flexibility, goal-directed persistence, organization, we have a blog for each of those. So that's something that I want to point parents in the direction of. Also, I've spent a fair number of hours in the last few years doing podcasts. And so we want to just point parents in the direction of those podcasts, because I think those can be quite valuable as well. And you'll see that we have each and every one of them listed. There are a lot of podcasts about ADHD and autism because we see a fair number of students with those diagnoses. But overall, I would say the podcasts just really talk about understanding your student, understanding their learning profile, whether they have ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, and then how to help. There's a lot of focus on parenting on here. And then there are some very topic specific things like, for example, on parenting ADHD podcasts, I did an entire podcast on why kids with ADHD lie and what we can do about it. And then also have an entire podcast here on the Autism ADHD podcast on motivation, which is another kind of difficult, tricky parenting thing for a lot of parents. So those are resources that I want to point out that are available to everyone. Now, going back a little bit to say, who are we and what do we do? What we like to say to parents is that we are the village that you've been looking for. It's so hard as a parent of kids who are neurodiverse to find providers who genuinely understand. Every time a parent calls me, they're like, well, we've tried this provider and we've tried that provider and we've tried this, and people say they understand, but they don't really understand how complex my student is. And that's what our focus is yes, it's kids with ADHD, it's kids with autism, it's kids with learning differences, but it's really kids who have, generally speaking, 2 or more of those diagnoses. And so That is what our niche is helping kids who are what we would call neurodiverse and complex. So we have made it very simple on the website in terms of understanding what we do. Our model that we've developed over the last 14 years is called Connected Coaching. It is the only academic coaching model that is research-based, and we have 6 components to our connected coaching approach, and it's been developed specifically for students in middle school and high school and young adults who are neurodiverse. For students who are in elementary school, we do offer a program teaching the basics of executive functioning. And so those are really the 2 service offerings that we have to teach executive functioning skills, learning and study strategies, and social and emotional skills. So this is a comment from one of our parents. The coaches at Russell Coaching understand students' needs while they struggle with the development into adolescence, and they are incredibly gifted at guiding students to access their best selves. They strengthen a student's confidence while developing their self-worth. And I hear a lot of that today. All of us share that focus on a holistic view of students. We want them to have better skills and to feel better about themselves. And we do that through providing individualized, one-on-one, customized services, whether it's, in martial arts, whether it's in reading instruction, or whether, like for us, it's with academic or ADHD coaching. So our sessions are virtual. We work with students actually across the world, both in the United States and then in South America, the UK, Canada, Dubai. And so we certainly can work with anybody, anywhere in Indiana successfully. And our hope is that students will, yes, end up figuring out how to move the challenges of ADHD and autism and learning differences and anxiety and depression out of their way and doing better in school, but also feeling better about themselves. So just to wrap up a little bit about our team, parents, when you call our office, you will meet Carla Clausen. She's our intake coordinator, and she will help you get all set up and organized. Kate is our billing and registration manager, and she takes care of all the money things and getting your student registered. And then Margaret is our director of marketing and outreach. So if you ever would like us to speak to, a parents group that you're familiar with or a professional group, Margaret can help with that. And then our director of training for the coaches is Heidi. So our team consists of people who have 8 to 10 years of experience working directly with students. Most of them have a master's degree. Those of you who are familiar with the field of coaching know that there really is no one background that people have, and coaching is actually not a licensed field yet. So it's very important to figure out who you're hiring, what their credentials are, and what they can do to help your student. If you're interested in our services, then when you go to the website, you're just going to go to services. You're going to see our big green block for connected coaching. And then the green button is for new students to register here. So I know that that was not the traditional PowerPoint presentation, but sometimes I think for us, it is more helpful to walk through where you can find free resources, such as our blog and our podcast that we've been on, and then also understand how to register for services. So in a nutshell, that's Russell Coaching. We'd be happy to talk with you about your student. As with the other providers today, everything we do is customized to your student and their age and where they're at and their maturity and their development. And so we look forward to connecting with Indiana parents.
Thank you for presenting, Dr. Russell's very informative, and like all the other providers we've had today, very glad that you were able to take the time to do this for us and our families. I think they get a lot out of Russell Coaching for Students. So thank you for being a part of the program and sharing with us today. That is about all of the providers that I had scheduled for today. If any other provider would like to make a last minute comment or, ask any questions, or if any parents have any questions they want to unmute or, throw in the chat, I can address those now. But probably end the call here in the next few minutes. But like I said, this will be recorded and posted to our YouTube channel as well as our social medias. When I post it on YouTube, I will kind of cut it up and mark the sections where each provider was talking, so parents can kind of quickly, if they're just interested in, the Taekwondo school, or they're just interested in the Advocacy Links, they'll be able to quickly click through the video to find the part where you're talking about. So, parents should be able to get to know the services you guys offer. But let's see, I think someone. Hong's USA Taekwondo, would you be able to provide your phone number one more time? Oh, here we go.
They'll be able to see the chat. Do you know, sir?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it real quick. It's 269-687-5000. I mean, also in the description for the YouTube video, I'll put a link to everyone's website and their email and their phone number as well. So parents will have multiple ways to find all of this contact information. But with that, I think I don't see any more questions coming in, and all the providers have spoken. So I'll go ahead and stop the recording and end the call here. But thanks so much for being here today, guys. I hope parents got a lot out of it. I know I did. So thank you, and see you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.